Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. In this afternoon's review, we are going to tackle Marvel Legends Captain America. This is the 20 years anniversary figure. So let's examine the contents of our purchase. So we have the Captain America sporting the more traditional or the origin costume. We have an alternate unmasked head. We have extra pairs of hands. We have the shield with some attached effects and additional figure effects for this set. So the backdrop that comes with this figure is actually reversible. So this is the other side of that backdrop. So we've taken the figure out of packaging. First, I took out the shoulder harness where the shield would hold on to or grab onto. So we'll be discussing that later. So let's measure this guy up. So this figure stands at around 6.5 inches. So let's discuss the articulation points, which I am really satisfied with how wide the articulation points for this action figure is. So for the head area, we have side-to-side motion. Of course, no problem with looking sideways. And when you articulate the head, it is really nice and smooth. We don't have any form of resistance on the ball joint. So as to looking up, head tilts, now that is just way so much head tilts. So just imagine the Captain America doing a high altitude low opening jump from an airplane or a C-130. So for head looking downwards, that is also way so much compared to other figures that I have reviewed from Marvel and other companies. So let's move on to the shoulders first. For the shoulders, we don't have any butterfly joints on this figure. So but we have ample articulation. We have some kind of clicking motion when you rotate that arm. When you also move the arm sideways, we also have that clicking motion. For the biceps, we have a bicep cut. 2 points of articulation for the elbow. We don't have any form of articulation on the forearm, but the hands is on a hinge, and we also have rotation for those hands, and those hands are also replaceable with other sets that came with this figure. So for the body, we have rotation on the waist, so waist cut for rotation. We also have ab crunch, so this is how much bend he could do forwards. This is how much bend he could do backwards. Now with that backward bends, it just shows how much space we have for the diaphragm area, and actually these chopsticks and could fit into that gaping hole. So but only just a minor gripe for this figure. As for the leg area, we have this much of kicking forwards, and because of the construction of the butt piece, we don't have much for kicking backwards. We have kicking sideways this much, so actually not so much, but depends on how you really position that joint system to do really high kicks. So we have a thigh cut for rotation of the thighs. We have 2 points of articulation for the knee. We have a cut on the shin for boot rotation, and we also have a rocker, and a hinge for the foot. So overall, I'm really satisfied with this figure. Out of packaging, this figure does not need any form of heat treatment. It is ready for play and display. This Captain America comes with an alternate unmasked head of Steve Rogers. So let's take a look at the detail of that head sculpt. And just pop off the head that comes packaged in with the set, and attach this unmasked or this mask piece around the neck of the figure. But it is just unbelievable with regards to this supposed to be folded mask of Captain America. We have the wings on the side over there, but the mask is just the folded up mask is just way too thin. It would have been believable if this accessory was a little bit thicker. And with regards to how it flaps around the neck of the figure, it is actually more okay if you just take this thing out, because look at that, it is just annoying. It's all over the place, it flaps around. So when you change head sculpts, you could just possibly disregard this accessory piece. But of course, that is something that comes with this set. This is a thing that you pay for, so might as well in this review use it. Okay, so for articulation points, does this head sculpt articulate as well as the other one? And the answer is yes. So for sideways movement, we also have that motion, looking left and right and looking upwards. So how much bends, back bends does that head have? A lot, just like this alternate head sculpt or the original masked head sculpt. So for looking down, how much looking down motion? So much. So really depends now on which head you would like to pose with this Captain America 20 years anniversary figure. So in this action figure purchase, what really matters less the gimmicks of that back stand, of the accessories or the effects that attaches to the shield, aside from the unmasked head and that piece that hangs on the shoulder. What we're really looking at would be just the base figure, the alternate head sculpt, and the shield that comes with it. Okay, so let's first discuss the details on the action figure. So far, the paint job, we have some kind of QC issues, but really not something that is so bad that it ruins the entire look of the figure. So as for the red bleeding or possibly paint issues, we have some over here, and over there, but somehow it really doesn't dampen out or bleed so badly or makes the figure look ugly. So as for the color of the red, we have uniform color on the red gloves, the red stripes, the red boots. As for the white areas, so far the white areas on the arms and on the torso, they are of the same shade and they are nicely painted on this copy. Of course, we have some kind of dirt on that figure. Actually, it came from my hand, from physically playing with this figure. So as for the total, the blue areas, we have uniformity in color for the head, the armor, and the pants. So actually we have several pieces of different pieces for the leg area. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 to deal with. But with regards to the shade of blue, it is of uniform color. So far I'm really satisfied with just the base figure per se. We have a nicely centered star on the chest. We have a nicely centered star on the back with just the right hole where the shoulder harness and the hole on the star would meet. And for the A on the mask, it is just nice and right. We don't have any paint issues on that A, nor is that A off center to the left, to the right, on top or below. Actually, it is just right smack in the middle of the forehead. Now the belt piece is a separate thing of a piece of plastic, but the color, the shade of blue that has been used with the belt loops actually matches the rest of the color on the uniform of the figure. So really nicely executed, Captain America this anniversary version. So as for the head sculpt, the alternate head sculpt that this comes with, really liking this head sculpt too. So if ever I would make use of this head sculpt with another figure, it is possible. Now let us take a look at the shield. So the shield has holes on them. Actually, that is the issue I have with this set, because we just can't get rid of the accessories. You have to attach it on the shield to cover up the holes, because take a look at that, those are differently sized holes on the shield. So you have to make use some of the effects to cover up those holes if you don't want to stare at the Captain America shield with those differently odd shaped holes. Now this is an older style shield with a peg and a clip. Now let's clip this on the back of the figure and see if it is nicely proportioned. Now, is it big? Is it small? Now as for the side profile, so far I am liking the side profile. It is not way too big or way too small. So as for the back, nicely proportioned actually. So even if we are staring at those holes, which is really an eyesore, so far I am really liking the shield. So the proportion of the shield to the back of the figure. Now let's take a look at the front. So even at the front, it is nicely proportioned. So that is it. We have a nice alternate head sculpt. We have a nicely painted figure with little paint splashes, but not so much QC paint splashes. The color and the uniformity really okay. Now with the proportions on the body of the figure and the muscles and the way the head looks, so far I'm really satisfied with it. So the arms are not way too long or way too short. The legs are just proportionally right to the rest of the body. The head is not way too big or too small. The hands are not way too big or too small in relation to the head and the foot. So overall, this is an okay figure to purchase. So really depends if you want to make use of the backdrop to display this figure, or that possibly. I won't have any space for that backdrop. It's just going to be this figure on my stand. So is this a recommended figure to buy? Well, so far really liking this figure. So if you find it at your local GameStop, at your Target, or wherever you buy your action figures, just go for this action figure. It is an okay purchase. If you don't want to make use of this shield, then just make use of other shields that you have on board on your collection. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next action figure review.